Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to everyone. Welcome to our video assignment. We will present about a financing product which is Musharakah Mutanaqisah.
Meet my other three group members, Iffah Syahirah, zhafiratul Insyirah, Meor Mohamad Irfan, and me, Nurul, Natalia, Irfani.
Musharakah Mutanaqisah combines musharakah, partnership, and ijarah, leasing in Islamic finance. It typically involves a financial institution and an individual or business. Both parties enter a partnership jointly owning a property, and that property is leased to the client. An agreement that allows the client to acquire the financial institution share over the time through periodic payments. It also adheres to Islamic law where it prohibits interest or riba. Musharakah Mutanaqisah focuses on shared risk and cooperation between the financier and the client. Both parties contribute capital for the joint ownership of the property. This provides an alternative to interest-based financing, aligning with Sharia principles. The partnership encourages collaboration and mutual benefits. Musharakah Mutanaqisah also represents the ijarah principles, emphasizing gradual ownership transfer through leasing arrangement. There are four principles involved in Musharakah Mutanaqisah. Firstly is Musharakah partnership, where it is a joint ownership and risk sharing. Its application is that both the financial institution and the client contribute capital for shared ownership of the property. Secondly is Ijarah leasing, where it is leasing and gradual ownership transfer. Its application that the property is leased to the client who makes periodic payments, gradually acquiring the financial institution's ownership share. Third is Sharia compliance, where it has the adherence to Islamic law. It is the avoidance of interest riba, ensuring ethical financial practice and promoting fairness in transactions. Lastly is equitable distribution, where it said that fair sharing of risk and profits. It involves responsibilities, risks, and profits that are distributed based on agreed upon terms, fostering an equitable relationship. The mechanism of Musharakah Mutanaqisah is divided into 7 steps. Firstly is partnership formation, where both parties and the financial institution and the client enters into a joint partnership agreement to co-own a specific property. Second is capital contribution, where both parties contribute capital to the partnership reflecting their respective ownership stakes in the property. Third is leasing agreement, where the property is leased to the client through an ijarah agreement allowing them to use the property while paying rent. Fourth is gradual ownership transfer. The client that makes periodic payments which include both rental and the portion of the property's purchase price, leading to the gradual transfer of ownership. Fifth is risk and profit sharing. The risk and profits are shared between the financial institution and the client based on the terms outlined in the Musharakah Mutanaqisah agreement. Sixth is responsibilities, where both parties share responsibilities related to the property maintenance, insurance, and the other agreed upon obligation. Last is exit mechanism, where the agreement includes a mechanism for the financial institution to exit the partnership gradually as the client acquires full ownership.
There are many applications of Musharakah Mutanaqisah, but people always use three applications, which is home financing, car financing, and project financing. Most of the people will use Musharakah Mutanaqisah if they want to apply for a home financing. Musharakah Mutanaqisah has risen up in popularity as a replacement for traditional mortgage in the context of home financing. This arrangement is used by Islamic banks to allow people to buy houses without having to deal with interest-bearing transactions. For car financing, Islamic banks use Musharakah Mutanaqisah in the field of car financing to make car purchases smoother and easier. Customers join forces with the bank to own the car, and by making regular payments, they gradually increase their ownership stake until they have complete ownership. Musharakah Mutanaqisah is used In project financing also, where businesses collaborate with Islamic banks to provide fund large-scale projects. The partnership structure allows for shared ownership and risk, aligning the interests of the bank and the businesses. Okay, what are the advantages and challenges occur in Musharakah Mutanaqisah? There are few advantages that can be taken in this product in terms of its Sharia compliance, risk profit and loss sharing, and also by its long-term relationship. Musharakah Mutanaqisah adheres with Islamic principles, which shows that no interest offered by this product. It also a risk, profit and loss sharing, which means they will not let the buyer or the seller are solely burdened with loss and risk. Most people are likely to choose this product because of its fair and equal arrangements of asset. Lastly, is in terms of its long-term relationship. Musharakah Mutanaqisah offered a long-term relationship is because to build a strong loyalty between customers so that the customer trusts and stick to their choices. Okay, what are the challenges occur in this product? The challenges that can be taken in this product is in terms of its complexity and structuring. It is important to take seriously a number of elements while structuring a Musharakah Mutanaqisah agreement, such as the assets valuation, profit sharing ratios, and the method for transferring ownership. Achieving a mutually beneficial arrangement that complies with Sharia law can be complex and requires for a professional expertise. Next challenge will be the valuation of asset. This will bring a dispute between the parties because there must be a misunderstanding on how they arrange the asset. It might be difficult to establish a clear and acceptable valuation process, particularly for unusual or non-standard assets. And risk management also one of the challenges. Risk and ownership are shared in Musharakah Mutanaqisah. Effective risk management techniques are required to manage the risk related to the underlying asset, market circumstances, and any other operational considerations. It might be difficult to create a risk-sharing structure that is equitable for all sides.
I will explain the process of home financing in Musharakah Mutanaqisah. This contract involves three parties: the first one, property; the second, bank; and third, customer. Modern could be easily implemented for various financing purposes, including housing project or co-financing and others. Next, I share 5 steps in the home financing process. The first, customer find property like house, then sign sales and purchase agreement for paying deposit and apply for financing. The second, bank once application is approved or grants. The third, customer lists the bank share in the house. The fourth, customer will pay an amount. The fifth, the partnership will be terminated with the customer owning 100% of the house. I also explain comparative analysis part on Islamic financial model and conventional product. The first difference is ownership structure on the Islamic financial. A partnership will always share ownership and profit loss responsibility, fostering a cooperative relationship. Compared to conventional product, no share profit and loss that we know the conventional of a partnership no juris element. So the lender as a borrower relationship built towards the same cooperative ownership structure. Okay, this difference is transparency cost. The first view on Islamic financial model is more implementation. The cost structure, the profit margin be shared both parties. In conventional, interest rates to market inflation and may not always be as transparent. Next difference on profit and loss sharing of Islamic financial model is both parties share in the profit and loss property price and risk sharing. One, in the conventional product is, as we know, the conventional involves fixed interest rates, so the lenders do not participate in the profit or loss of the financial investor costs. They prioritize profit and losses. Lastly, sharing responsibility. To the Islamic financial model, both parties share the responsibility for the asset, contributing to a sense of shared ownership. Compared to conventional product, the lender interest is primarily in the repayment of the loan, and the borrower is responsible for the property.
I will be explaining the last part, which is the case study. Malaysian Banking Berhad or Maybank is one of the bank in Malaysia which offer Musharakah Mutanaqisah as part of their Islamic home financing products. This is roughly how the process will go. First, a client will approach the Islamic financial institution to request for finance to purchase real estate. Then the Islamic financial institution and the consumer will jointly acquire the real estate based on a predetermined proportion, for example 90 to 10. The consumer shall list the Islamic financial institution's ownership stake in accordance with Ijarah up until the client has acquired every share of the financial institution. The monthly installments from the customer will be fully utilized to acquire the share of the Islamic financial institution. Next, we will have a look at the contributing factors. The first one is Sharia compliance. As Musharakah Mutanaqisah is an interest-free instrument which align with the Sharia principle. It is suitable for those looking for a substitute for conventional financing. Next, the equity-based financing. The Musharakah Mutanaqisah equity-based financing model divide the benefits and risks of real estate ownership between the financial institution and also the client. This is consistent with the fairness and risk sharing tenets in Islam. Gradual ownership transfer. Musyarakah Mutanaqisah structure permits a customer to financial institution ownership to change gradually over time. So the client will eventually become the sole owner of the property due to the progressive buyout process. Fixed rental payments. The consumer will have to pay the financial institution the fixed rental payments in lieu of interest payments. This offers clarity and also certainty regarding the financial commitment. Next, for the issues and challenges in the application, the first one is the impermissibility of two agreements in one contract. In Musharakah Mutanaqisah home financing, there are three contracts consist of Musharakah, Ijarah, and also buy. Scholars' opinion on this matter is it is still permissible for the contracting parties to combine the two contracts of Musharakah and Ijarah into one document as long as both were concluded separately and do not overlap with each other. However, they concur that a buy contract cannot be merged with another contract or be made conditional on another contract in any way. Next is the arguments about the use of the promise. Islamic jurists are divided on whether keeping such pledge is required or not. The resulting legal ramifications will vary based on each opinion. If we acknowledge that what is required, then the bank has the very right to charge their consumer if they don't keep their end of the bargain. Controversy over issues of the ownership risk. In contract, the consumer will bear the entire ownership risk even if the bank is theoretically regarded as a partner. This is because they should be held responsible for any damage caused by their carelessness. However, the bank and the client will split the loss in accordance with their respective shares in the property if the damage was caused by a natural disaster or unrelated third party's conduct. As being arguable since under the terms of the Musharakah contract, no partner should be held liable for losses incurred by the partnership due to natural disasters or third parties' actions. Under the Musharakah agreement, risk sharing is not supported when all associated expenses and risks are placed solely on the client. As for the conclusion, Musharakah Mutanaqisah is an Islamic financial model that complies with Sharia, especially when it comes to buying property. The framework is distinguished by its conformity to Islamic tenets, risk-sharing agreements, and a fair handoff of ownership from the financial institution to the client. Like every other financial instrument, Musharakah Mutanaqisah has its own benefits and also drawbacks. Despite the disadvantages, Musharakah Mutanaqisah is still a valuable instrument in Islamic finance, offering people a financing option for real estate that complies with Sharia law.